And then speaking of oomph, Waller and Theory beat Ridge and Butch. Imagine that. And then we had the contract signing for the tag team match. And this is, again, where they needed LA Knight, but they've left the door open for it. Obviously, that's going to be, the pay-per-view match. But Cena came out guns blazing, and before he even sat down, he signed the contract. I'm ready to go, right? And then they introduce AJ Styles, music plays, no AJ. And then the camera goes to the back, the most dangerous place in wrestling, the backstage area, where you're lucky if you can escape with your... No wonder Tony Khan's feared for his life. Everybody ought to be fearing for their life back there. So Uso is beating the shit out of AJ. And Solo is standing up on some they've constructed, a high platform, precipice area, whatever. And they're in the equipment cases and all the equipment that you see at a TV taping backstage. And
interesting choice for the cameraman where he decided to shoot from.
Yes, because basically, when Uso finishes beating up AJ, he dumps him to the other side of an equipment case that you can't see. And the camera of the floor camera handheld guy, he pans up and you see Solo and he does his and then he does the splash off the top of whatever he's standing on and goes behind the equipment case where you can't see what he landed on. When he landed on A, you hear a big thump. And then this has already been going on for a while, but now suddenly people have noticed all this screaming and chaos. And here they all come running, and they start throwing stuff from behind that. Finally, the camera goes over behind the thing, and I don't know if somehow they staged where they pulled a pad to the side or whatever, but could it have been more obvious that they didn't want you to see that landing than if they had just done something that you could see and you didn't immediately register it as, well, that's fake as fuck?
I mean, I didn't like it, and I didn't think it was effective because it looked so fake.
That's the thing when you...
The way they shot it, I mean, even if you had seen him go through the crash pad, it would have looked better. The way they shot it made you think, oh, they don't want to show you where he's landing for a reason.
Yes, it was obvious. It slapped you in the face. So anyway, help is coming, and they're trying to dig him out, and they go to panic to the break. And when they come back, AJ is being taken out on a stretcher, and the bloodline comes to the ring, and Solo clears out all the contract signing furniture, the table and the chairs and everything. And Paul Lee starts doing the promo, and now they're doing the Dominic, and they're doing the Callis, they're doing Paul, they're just booing nonstop. It's becoming a thing now. We used to have to fucking work for it. But anyway, he's got the contract signed by Cena, but Cena has no partner for Fastlane. And then Jimmy snatches Heyman's microphone away and cuts the big cocky heel promo. And you can tell he is irritating the shit out of Heyman, right? And then here comes Cena, at least with no music, running out like you no good son of a bitches. And he fights Solo on the floor and he gets on Jimmy in the ring, but then both of them get on him. And Solo spikes him. And then both of the heels start getting heat and taunting the crowd. Was your video blacking out? Was that a network thing or was that my shitty Spectrum cable?
No, that happened here too. I'm glad you brought that up. All of a sudden in the middle of the very end of the angle, for a little bit, for maybe 20 seconds or so, it went black.
Was that a transmission problem, I wonder, from the site, or was...
Had to be, right?
Fox trying to censor something and doing the wrong thing or not, or maybe doing the right thing? We didn't see it.
I mean, we saw what happened last week with The Rock with the cursing and they, bleeped the crowd, and we've heard that before, but this was, I think this had to be some kind of problem, not
because to go to, they still had the live bug up on the screen, the word live, like this is live, but it was a black screen. That was unless somebody's dick had flopped out or whatever. But anyway, they ended up with a little bit of time because Jimmy goes to the top after milking and then splashes Cena and then signs the contract and Solo signs it, puts it on Cena's chest. And then I think Cena probably called an audible, said, dude, give me another one. And he did another splash off the top, and they still had a while. This is John Cena. If you're going to not even ignore that he's the biggest wrestling star in the world active right now, he's goddamn movie star. Was nobody going to come out there? Has he no friends, no confidants, no security? No, you know.
And this would have been LA Knight.
It would have been LA Knight.
To a monster babyface pop.
Yeah. And this was the way to go without LA Knight, except for it taking so long at the end with them just not being, the heels not being molested in any way to try to get somebody to stop abusing John Cena. But otherwise, if you couldn't have LA Knight do the save, this is a great way to get heat on the heels for when he can.
You know, John Cena is one of those traditional baby faces, like every baby face should run out of the locker room to try to save. Like even the low card ones.
Well, yeah, even if they hated his fucking guts, but there's Ari Emanuel in the back going, my God, he's a movie star, save him.
Well, that was Smackdown.